Alright, let's do this. Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Gallion and welcome to my breakdown of the new Titans official trailer. Now, I don't really know how to feel about it. On one hand, it's terrible. On the other hand, it has Robin in it, so there's that. But let's go ahead and get into it with the first image that's probably the most important for this whole trailer, and that is the rating. And it's the following is rated TV mature, which means the whole show will be. And whose idea was this? I don't really understand who this show is for, to be honest. It's not for the kids that watch Teen Titans Go. It doesn't really seem to be for the people who grew up with the Teen Titans cartoon. And it doesn't seem like it's for the people who like the comics, because this is nothing like the comics. So I honestly don't really understand where the idea for the show came to begin with. But moving on, we get to see Raven exploring the flying Graysons when Dick Grayson's Robin, his parents fell to their death in a trapeze accident, or, well, sabotage. But this seems to be like it might be in like a dream sequence or a vision, or like they're in Robin's mind or something like that, where she's exploring like his memories and things like that, or maybe she's just having a vision. Next we see Brendan Thwaites as Robin, and he seems to be a police officer, which has happened in the comics before. After Dick Grayson left Batman and kind of started out on his own, at one point he became a cop while he was Nightwing. So that's an interesting cut. Like that seems to be like a reference to the comics, so that's something. The next thing we see of importance is actually Dick Grayson's parents falling to their death. Now, I like that it is just his parents, because I mean there have been different versions of it before, and this is a very small thing to like. But like in Batman Forever, which is not a very good movie, but in Batman Forever, I think he has like a brother or something like that dies as well. But no, I like the idea of a single child and his parents die like how it was with Batman. But next thing we see is kind of Dick Grayson looking at his old Robin costume, and I don't know if he's going to be Robin this entire season or entire series, but I think it would have been better for him to become Nightwing, maybe start out as Robin and then become Nightwing like closer to the end of the season. That might be more interesting, and it would help distance yourselves from something like Teen Titans Go or the original Teen Titans show, or the comics, which is what this show seems to be wanting to distance themselves from. So one of the next things we see is a bit of an action sequence, and the action seems okay. It doesn't seem to be on the par of a show like Daredevil or something like that. It seems to be kind of have the same editing style as something like The Bourne Identity, where there's a lot of quick cuts and you don't get to see a lot of it. Like there wasn't a lot of actual good choreography involved, and they're editing around it to hide it. Now, I could be completely wrong, and it could just be the way that this trailer is edited, because this is not a very well edited trailer. No offense to whoever made this, but I can be completely wrong, but that's just the feel that the trailer gives us so far. Okay, so the next thing we see is, well, one of the goons says, where's Batman? And then Robin has the need to just say F Batman, which is, wow, so adult, guys. It's not like an edgy 13-year-old or anything. I don't know. This whole thing seems like they mixed up the character of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. And it kind of, honestly, it makes me kind of upset, because Dick Grayson is one of my favorite comic book characters. So it bothers me to see him portrayed in this way, because this is not Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson doesn't really act like this, so it doesn't make any sense for him to be portrayed in this way in the show. But one of the next things we see is Raven, and the effect that they're using on her for like the like demon eyes and everything, it looks incredibly cheap. It's the kind of thing that you can download an app on your smartphone and do the same thing. It looks like a Snapchat filter, let's be real. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like this show has a great budget. Like, you go from something like the Robin costume, which looks great, and then you see this, which is just kind of meh. I mean, it looks like a B-grade horror film that comes out in January that no one goes to see. But next thing we see is Beast Boy, which is actually a good look at him, and you can see that he has green skin here, but the only problem is we see him later in the trailer, and he doesn't have green skin. So maybe it's where he's transforming. Possibly. It's a possibility that maybe his skin starts turning green as he's transforming into an animal or something like that. That's what I would assume. But one of the next things we see is Starfire for the first time, and instead of like shooting, green lasers like she has in the comics since forever, she now shoots fire because Starfire, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure this actress is a really good actress. It's just she doesn't exactly look like how I think Starfire should look. And it's not even that I was like, oh, she should have orange skin. It's just I don't like the costume. The hair is weird, and I don't know. It just looks really off. One of the next things we see is Dove for the first time. Now, we saw official looks at both Hawk and Dove earlier in the year, and their costumes look pretty good. It's pretty close to the comics, but even though Dove is a female for some reason and never has been in the comics, but that's whatever. But they're in the middle of an action sequence, and then we also see a quick look at Hawk in his uniform as well. It looks pretty good, not gonna lie. It's a pretty good suit and looks better than the usual stuff we get on, like, say, the CW or something like that. And the last thing really of importance that we see is Raven again. And this trailer seems to like be leading to the idea that, oh, maybe it's Trigon or something like that will be the main villain of the season or series or whatever they're calling it. And which leads me to think, like, why don't they do the cool thing from the comics? Or not the comics. Well, actually, it's from the comics too, and the cartoon, where whenever like Raven is being possessed or something, there's like a third eye, like how her father Trigon has 3 eyes. I don't know. It's something original and unique that would set it apart from everything else, instead of just the same goofy effect you've seen on every single other like cheap low budget horror film that comes out in the beginning of the year where no one goes to see it. I don't know. This trailer does, I don't know, it's very middling for me. It shows interesting action, interesting plot, but at the same time it kind of confirms a lot of the fears we had about the show, that it is just being made like it's for a bunch of edgelords, all these people that are just, oh, well, we're cool, so we're going to show a bunch of violence and blood, and we're going to curse and not go to bed on time. So I don't know, I think it's something to keep our eye on, just to see how it progresses, because I mean, usually trailers like these are just from the pilot, and that's it, the first episode. So it might be that things change a bit or whatever, but this could possibly just all be from the first episode of the series. But yeah, for me, I personally just didn't exactly like the trailer. It was just bleh, I guess, to put it in a very technical term. But let me know what you guys thought of the trailer in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back next time we get a new trailer. Hopefully since it's San Diego Comic-Con, the next trailer I do will be for Iron Fist Season 2. Fingers crossed. Thanks, and have a good day.